Gogo stood at the head of the table, champagne glass raised high, his smile stretching too wide across his face. The smile of a man who thought he controlled everything. 25 years, he announced loudly. Quarter of a century with this amazing woman beside me. The restaurant fell silent. Antonio's, the most expensive Italian place in Portland. Our families filled the long table. Candles flickered. Champagne glasses reflected golden light. Everyone waited for the toast they expected. Then his voice turned cold and deliberate. I've decided to be honest with everyone here tonight. I'm in love with someone else. I'm leaving this marriage. 50 pairs of eyes turned to me in perfect synchronization, waiting for tears, for screaming, for the breakdown he clearly wanted. My hand didn't shake as I reached into my purse. The leather was smooth against my fingers. I pulled out a cream-colored envelope I'd been carrying for days. I slid it across the white tablecloth, past roses, past his champagne. Read that before dessert arrives. I said calmly. His face went from confident to pale. Our daughter Kendra stared at me, mouth hanging open. My sister gasped loudly, but I smiled, because I'd been planning this moment for 3 months. Every document in that envelope would destroy him completely. 45 minutes earlier, everything had been a perfect celebration. The anniversary dinner we'd planned for months. Our families gathered around the elegantly set table. White linens, red roses, crystal glasses catching candlelight. My son Tyler had just finished his heartfelt toast, to the best parents anyone could ask for. 25 years of showing us what love and commitment look like. To Mom and Dad. Everyone clapped enthusiastically. My mother wiped away happy tears with her napkin. Gogo squeezed my hand under the table. His palm was sweaty with nerves. I squeezed back mechanically, knowing exactly what was coming next. I'd read his text messages to Brielle, seen his plans laid out. He wanted to humiliate me publicly. Thought I'd dissolve into tears. Thought I'd make a scene. Kendra leaned close to me. Mom, you look absolutely beautiful tonight. That dress is perfect on you. I smiled at my 23-year-old daughter. Beautiful and naive. No idea her father was about to deliberately destroy her memory of this special night. But I'd fix it. I always fixed everything. Her daughter mouths, "What the hell is happening?" As Gogo prepares his announcement. It started 6 months ago on an ordinary Tuesday. Gogo came home at 11 p.m., much later than usual. His shirt was wrinkled badly. He smelled like cheap perfume that definitely wasn't mine. He kissed my forehead quickly, avoiding my eyes. Busy night at the construction site, babe. Really busy. But construction sites close at 6 p.m. sharp. I knew this because I'd personally built his entire payroll system 15 years ago. I knew every single detail of his business operations, every rule, every schedule, every protocol. The next week, he worked late 3 nights, then 4 nights, then suddenly every single night. He stopped asking about my day over dinner. Stopped kissing me goodbye in the mornings before leaving. His phone was always positioned face down on every surface. I'm a financial analyst, have been for 20 years. I notice patterns in everything. Missing money in accounts, changed behaviors in people, timelines that don't align properly, lies that leave obvious gaps when you know where to look carefully. One night, I checked our credit card statement online. A hotel charge jumped out. $342. Embassy Suites downtown. She sees the first unexplained $342 hotel charge. His jacket hung in the hallway closet on a Thursday afternoon. Dark gray wool. Expensive. I went through the pockets methodically while he showered upstairs, water running loud enough to cover any sound. A hotel key card fell out first, sliding into my palm. Room 412. Then I found the receipt folded small in the inside pocket. Trying to hide it. Champagne, $200. Chocolate-covered strawberries, $90. Room service for 2 guests. All charged to our credit card 3 days prior. My hands shook for exactly 1 second, then stopped completely. I pulled out my phone with steady fingers, took clear pictures of everything, close-up shots, every detail visible, downloaded them immediately to a secure folder, put everything back exactly where I'd found it. Then I walked calmly to our kitchen, made his favorite lasagna from his mother's recipe, set the table with candles, poured good wine. He came downstairs smiling and relaxed. "Smells amazing, Z. You're seriously the best wife." I served him dinner and listened to him lie elaborately about his day. Her breath catches, but her face, Ice cold, perfect control. 25 years ago, I gave up absolutely everything for this man. Everything I'd worked so hard to build. I had an incredible job at a top financial firm in Seattle, one of the most prestigious in the Pacific Northwest. Great salary that had just crossed 6 figures. Amazing benefits. Clear path to partnership by age 40. Then Gogo suddenly decided he wanted to start his own construction company in Portland instead of working for someone else. Said Seattle was too expensive. Said he wanted to be his own boss finally. Said I could find work anywhere with my impressive skills. So I quit. Gave 2 weeks' notice, packed my corner office, left my entire career behind without hesitation. We moved to Portland into a small apartment, started completely over from nothing. I helped him build his business from the ground up. Did all his bookkeeping every night, set up the entire payroll system from scratch, secured business loans using my superior credit score. When clients didn't pay on time, I covered his payroll with our personal savings. Year 3, he almost went completely bankrupt. I used my inheritance to save him. $60,000 from my grandmother. He promised solemnly to pay me back. I became the woman who made him. And he used me to chase someone younger. I dug through our old filing cabinet late one night while Gogo was supposedly at another site inspection. The metal drawer stuck like always. I found the prenuptial agreement from 1999, yellowed with age. My father had absolutely insisted on it before our wedding. He was a lawyer. Careful, protective. He didn't trust Gogo from their first meeting. Thought he was marrying me primarily for my family money and connections. Gogo had acted deeply offended, but eventually signed everything. Page 7. Section 12. The infidelity clause, my father's lawyer had specifically insisted on including. In the event of proven infidelity, defined as any romantic or sexual relationship outside the marriage, the unfaithful spouse forfeits all claims to joint property and assets. I read it 3 times carefully, then 4 times, 5 times. Then I photographed every single page with my phone, uploaded everything to 3 different cloud storage accounts, emailed copies to both my personal and work addresses, made the files completely impossible to lose or destroy. I created a new folder on my laptop, named it Financial Records, started organizing everything systematically. She copies the clause and saves it, in case he ever forgets what he signed. I pulled up his company payroll records on a Sunday afternoon, the comprehensive system I'd personally built 15 years ago. Every single hour logged by every worker, every dollar paid out documented. I scanned March through August carefully. 6 full months of detailed data. 0 overtime. Not a single extra hour recorded anywhere in the system. But his bank statements told a completely different story. Our joint checking account showed cash withdrawals every Thursday night like clockwork. $200 one week, $300 the next, sometimes $500, always around 8 p.m., always from the exact same downtown ATM. I created a detailed spreadsheet, dates in one column, his claimed overtime hours in another, actual payroll hours in the third column, cash withdrawals in the fourth, bank balances in the fifth. The pattern was completely obvious once laid out visually. I printed every single page, highlighted all the discrepancies in bright yellow marker, put everything in my evidence folder carefully. "You're making this too easy," I whispered to the empty room. She whispers, "You're making this too easy." He'd forgotten she understood money better than anyone. His truck sat in our driveway on a Saturday morning. I opened the glove compartment carefully while he was inside watching football loudly on the television. A phone I didn't recognize was tucked under papers. Not his regular iPhone with the black case. A cheap Android burner phone. I turned it on with shaking hands. Waited for it to boot up. No password protection, no security whatsoever. Just complete open access to everything inside. Messages with someone saved simply as Bree. Hundreds of them going back months. "Can't wait to see you tonight, baby. You're amazing and so beautiful. I've never felt this way. I love you." Pictures everywhere. Him in bed with rumpled sheets, her in bed wearing almost nothing, both together at restaurants, at the coast, at hotels. Months of evidence documenting an entire relationship. I felt absolutely nothing looking at them. No sadness, no heartbreak. Just cold, clear calculation. I methodically sent every single photo to my email address. Every text message screenshot. Everything. The phone buzzed with a new message coming in. She sends the picture to herself. No emotion. then powers it off, perfect evidence collected. Her name was Brielle Thompson, 29 years old, 16 years younger than me. Personal trainer at Fitness Zone downtown, where Gogo had suddenly started going religiously. I found her Instagram profile in less than 10 minutes, public account with no privacy settings. Pictures of her at the gym in tight workout clothes, green smoothies with inspirational captions, expensive brunches she clearly couldn't afford, sunsets with profound quotes about manifesting dreams, and many pictures with Gogo deliberately cropped to show just his arm or shoulder. Background appearances. She thought she was being clever and subtle. She lived in a small apartment with 3 roommates according to location tags. Drove a 15-year-old Honda Civic with visible dents. Her bio said, manifesting my dream life, living my truth. I almost laughed out loud. She had absolutely no idea Gogo was about to lose everything. No idea the dream life she was manifesting would vanish completely. I saved careful screenshots of everything, cross-referenced dates with his credit card charges. Everything lined up perfectly. Zaniel Googles her and smiles. She has no idea what he's really worth. Or what he's about to be worth. I met with my divorce lawyer on a Wednesday afternoon in her downtown office. Patricia Reeves, sharp mind, efficient worker, undefeated record in court. Her office had floor-to-ceiling, windows overlooking the city. I spread all my evidence across her massive desk systematically. Hotel receipts arranged chronologically. Payroll records showing no overtime anywhere. Phone messages printed and highlighted. Photos organized by date. Bank statements with withdrawals circled in red. Credit card bills with suspicious charges marked. The prenuptial agreement with the infidelity clause bookmarked clearly. Patricia reviewed everything for 20 minutes in complete silence. Professional. Detached. Clinical. Then she finally looked up at me. This is absolutely airtight, Zaniel. Completely bulletproof. The prenup, the documented affair, the financial deception. He's going to lose everything. When do you want me to file the papers? Our anniversary dinner isn't exactly 6 weeks. Let's wait until after that. She raised an eyebrow, confused. You want to wait? I nodded firmly. I want him comfortable and confident. Then I want him destroyed. She schedules a meeting with a divorce attorney, justice being carefully planned. Tyler graduated from Oregon State University in June with honors in business. We drove down together as a supposed family. 3 hours south through beautiful scenery. Gogo was unusually quiet the entire trip, constantly checking his phone, secretly in his lap. At the graduation ceremony in the massive stadium, Tyler walked proudly across the stage in his cap and gown. I cried tears of pride. My elderly parents cheered loudly from their seats. But Gogo's chair beside me sat completely empty. He'd disappeared 20 minutes earlier with some excuse. That night, while scrolling social media after our celebration dinner, Brielle posted an Instagram story. Her and Gogo lounging by a hotel pool somewhere, cocktails in their hands, laughing together carelessly. I was 2 hours away in Corvallis watching our son graduate alone. My husband was with his mistress poolside. I immediately screenshot the story before it disappeared forever. Sent it directly to Patricia. This is what kind of father he really is. Zaniel sees him in the background's Instagram story, poolside with a drink. She sends the story to her lawyer. Perfect evidence. I bought a small digital voice recorder from an electronics store, paying cash. Legal in Oregon as long as one party in the conversation knows about it and consents. That party was me. I kept it hidden in my cardigan pocket during every conversation we had. He came home late one Tuesday night. After midnight again. I was waiting up, reading. I asked calmly where he'd been so late. Another site inspection. Big commercial project downtown. Problems with the foundation? Had to meet with the structural engineer? The lies flowed so easily from his mouth, like he'd practiced them repeatedly, like he believed his own fiction completely. Over the following weeks, I recorded everything systematically. You're imagining things, Z. You're being paranoid and suspicious. Even if you left me, you'd have absolutely nothing. Nobody would want you at your age anyway. You should be grateful. Each cruel word recorded clearly, each deliberate insult documented permanently. 37 recordings total. Gaslighting, manipulation, cruelty. He says, even if you left, you'd have nothing. She smiles quietly, recording every word, every insult, every lie, building her case methodically. 3 weeks before our 25th anniversary dinner, I began systematically moving money. Every dollar of my inheritance still remaining in our joint savings. My separate retirement account I'd maintained privately. The emergency fund I'd secretly built over 5 years. All transferred electronically to a completely new bank across town where his name wasn't on anything. Then I called our regular bank, told them I'd noticed suspicious activity on our account recently. Large withdrawals I didn't recognize. They immediately froze everything pending investigation. Locked all the accounts completely tight. That same night, Gogo tried to pay for an expensive dinner at his favorite steakhouse with Brielle. His card declined at the register. He tried again, thinking it was a mistake. Declined again. Then his backup card. Also declined. He called me from the parking lot, voice tight with barely controlled anger. "What did you do? All our accounts are frozen solid." I sounded genuinely concerned. "That's really strange. Maybe fraud protection? I'll call them first thing tomorrow morning." He tries to pay for dinner and his card declines. Perfect timing. Perfect justice. No more expensive dinners for them. 2 weeks before the anniversary, Gogo suddenly suggested couples therapy. "Last chance to save our marriage," he said seriously. "We should try professional help before giving up." I agreed immediately, which clearly surprised him. Another chance to document his behavior professionally. Another witness to his manipulation. We sat on Dr. Franklin Malcolm's beige leather couch on a Thursday evening. Tasteful artwork on walls, soft lighting, tissues on the side table. Gogo talked for 40 straight minutes while Dr. Malcolm took careful notes. "She's become so cold and distant. She doesn't make me feel alive anymore. She's always working. She's let herself go. Our intimacy is gone." I took careful mental notes, how he systematically rewrote our entire history, made himself the suffering victim, never mentioned the affair once, just painted me as a cold, unfeeling wife. Then Dr. Malcolm turned to me. "What do you want, Zaniel?" I looked at Gogo, then back at the therapist. "I want honesty. I want respect. I want what I deserve." The therapist turns to her and says, "What do you want, Zaniel?" The question that changed everything. The moment of clarity. I pulled the property deed from my father's old safe deposit box on a Saturday morning. Something had been nagging at me all week. A half-memory from 18 years ago that I couldn't quite recall clearly. I opened the official envelope carefully, spread the deed across the bank's viewing desk, and there it was, clear as day. Sole owner, Zaniel Marie Thompson. Not joint ownership, not shared title, not both names listed together. Just mine. Only mine. The house Gogo thought was half his, according to community property law, actually belonged completely and entirely to me alone. My father had protected me without my even knowing, had insisted on it, had arranged everything carefully. I photographed the deed immediately. Multiple angles, close-ups of the ownership line, official seals, notary stamps, legal description. Added it to my evidence folder in a section labeled Primary Residence. This changed absolutely everything. He couldn't claim the house, couldn't argue for half its value, couldn't force a sale. She whispers, he'll pack his bags soon. The house that was always hers. The protection her father provided. The final piece falling into place. 2 weeks before the anniversary dinner, I made pasta for dinner on a quiet Wednesday evening. His absolute favorite. Homemade fettuccine with garlic cream sauce, fresh bread from the Italian bakery, nice bottle of red wine I'd been saving, candles on the table. Romantic atmosphere. Setting the trap carefully. We sat across from each other like we had thousands of times before. I poured wine generously. Asked about his day with genuine-sounding interest, about work stress, about what was bothering him lately. He relaxed slowly as he drank. Started talking more openly. The wine loosening his tongue completely. I never meant for this to happen, but Brielle makes me feel young again. Alive. We've been together 8 months. I'm going to tell you after the anniversary. I deserve to be happy. The recorder in my pocket captured every single word. 8 months. Brielle's name. Plans to announce publicly. Everything I needed. I reached across the table, squeezed his hand warmly. I understand completely. He looked relieved, grateful even. The recorder beeped softly in her purse. His confession recorded. His own words destroying him. Perfect evidence collected. The week before our anniversary, I became the perfect wife again. Smiled more often, laughed at all his jokes, made his favorite meals every night. We watched movies together on the couch. I curled up next to him under blankets, acted completely normal. He thought we were genuinely reconciling, thought everything was healing. One night he sighed contentedly. I'm glad we're getting back to normal. Z. This is exactly how it should be between us. I stared at the ceiling in the darkness while he slept, feeling absolutely nothing, just cold determination and carefully controlled anger. In 7 days, his comfortable world would collapse completely. Normal, I thought bitterly. He has no idea what normal is about to become for him. No idea that every lie, every affair, every stolen dollar will be exposed publicly. I pretended to sleep beside him, watched his chest rise and fall, counted down the days, the hours, the minutes until justice arrived. He sighs, I'm glad we're getting back to normal. She just watches him sleep. The calm before the storm. 7 days remaining. I filed the divorce papers on a Monday morning, 1 week before the anniversary dinner. Patricia handled everything efficiently at the downtown courthouse. Divorce petition with detailed grounds, asset division demands, financial disclosures. Then she hired a professional process server with very specific instructions. Serve him at Fitness Zone downtown. Thursday afternoon at exactly 1 p.m., when the gym is busiest, when Brielle is definitely working, when lots of people will witness everything. Thursday afternoon at 1:30, my phone buzzed. A photo attachment. Gogo standing in the gym parking lot in his workout clothes. Brielle next to him in her tight trainer outfit, his face completely white with shock. The manila envelope in his hands, the official papers visible. I saved the photo to 3 different locations. Texted Patricia. Mission accomplished perfectly. He called 17 times in the first hour. I ignored every single call, let him panic and scramble. Text messages flooded in desperately. What is this? Why? We need to talk. This is insane. She receives a picture of his stunned face holding the envelope. The moment captured forever. His world crumbling. Her plan succeeding perfectly. The first court hearing happened 2 weeks later at the Multnomah County Courthouse. Gogo walked in looking confident despite everything. Expensive new suit, fresh professional haircut, expensive leather briefcase. Trying to impress the judge, his young lawyer looked equally confident. They clearly hadn't reviewed all the evidence Patricia had submitted beforehand. The massive binder sat on our plaintiff's table, 3 inches thick. Tabbed sections, everything organized professionally. When the judge called our case, Patricia opened that binder slowly, like revealing buried secrets. The prenuptial agreement came out first. The judge read it carefully. Then 40 pages of affair evidence, photos, messages, hotel receipts, timeline of lies, bank records showing no overtime but weekly cash withdrawals, payroll documents, voice, recordings of his gaslighting, everything dated, cross-referenced, undeniable. Gogo's lawyer started flipping frantically through his copy. His confident face went from assured to horrified in 90 seconds. He leaned over, whispered something urgent to Gogo. His lawyer looks at her file and says, "We have a problem." The understatement of the century. His case falling apart instantly. Brielle's Instagram went completely quiet for 3 full days after the court hearing. No posts, no stories, no activity whatsoever. Then suddenly on Saturday morning she posted something telling. Sometimes you realize someone isn't who they said they were. Time to focus on myself. Growth, healing, new chapter, self-love. The post got 200 likes within an hour. Dozens of supportive comments from friends. My sister called that afternoon, laughing so hard she could barely speak. Did you see this? Did you see what she posted? She dumped him. Threw him away. Her roommate works with Karen. Brielle found out he's completely broke. About to lose everything. She wants someone who can buy her nice things. I scrolled through Brielle's recent stories carefully. Pictures with a new man already, younger than Gogo, better looking, richer based on his expensive watch, at an upscale brunch place, cocktails, smiling, happy. Gogo was already replaced, already forgotten. The karma tasted incredibly sweet. Brielle posts a cryptic breakup quote on her Instagram. The mistress abandoning ship, leaving him with nothing. Perfect poetic justice. His construction business fell apart faster than anyone expected. Word spread quickly through Portland's tight construction community about the divorce proceedings, the documented affair, the systematic lies, the pending court case with mountains of evidence. 3 major clients pulled their contracts within 1 week, said they couldn't work with someone of such questionable character. couldn't risk their company reputation. Projects worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. Gone overnight. His experienced crew started actively looking for jobs with other companies. His longtime friends stopped returning his phone calls and messages. The Thursday night poker game he'd attended for 15 years suddenly decided to stop meeting. Church members he'd known for decades actively avoided him on Sundays. He was becoming invisible in his own community. A cautionary tale whispered about, a warning story. My phone buzzed with an unknown number. Can we please talk? I need to explain everything. We can fix this. Think about our kids. I stared at the message for a long moment, then deleted it completely. Blocked the number. He texts Zaniel, can we talk? But she doesn't respond. The silence more powerful than words. His lawyer called Patricia 2 days before the next hearing with a desperate settlement offer. Gogo would accept 50-50 split of everything. No contest. No arguments. Just make it quick and quiet. End this nightmare. Patricia called me immediately. What do you want to do, Zaniel? A settlement means faster resolution. Less public attention. Less emotional stress. We could be done in weeks. I didn't hesitate even for a second. No, absolutely not. I want full court judgment. Everything formally documented in permanent legal records. The prenup enforced exactly as written. Everyone knowing officially what happened. Patricia paused thoughtfully. You're absolutely sure? This will be more public. More intense. More difficult emotionally. This isn't revenge, I said quietly but firmly. This is justice. Real justice. There's a huge difference. Revenge is emotional and petty. Justice is about what's right. About consequences matching actions perfectly. She understood immediately. We turned down the settlement offer, prepared for full trial. This isn't revenge, Gogo. This is justice. The words that defined everything. The principle that mattered most. The line between emotion and righteousness. Gogo started calling our children repeatedly, trying desperately to get them to pressure me into settling. Told them I was deliberately destroying him, that I was being unnecessarily vindictive, that we could work everything out as a family if I'd just be reasonable. Kendra called me instead, her voice angry and deeply hurt. Dad tried to get me to talk to you. Said you were being unfair and cruel, that you could save his reputation. He actually asked me to convince you, to pressure you. Like I'm some tool he can manipulate. It made me sick. I stayed quiet. Let her express everything. Let her process. He missed my college graduation to be with his girlfriend. He lied to all of us for months. Made us all look stupid, and now he wants me to help him? To take his side? Absolutely not. I'm completely on your side, Mom. Tyler called that same evening, said basically identical things. Gogo had tried the same manipulation. Tyler texted Gogo directly. You did this to yourself, Dad. Own it. Accept the consequences. Stop manipulating your kids. Their son says you did this to yourself. The validation that mattered, the support she needed. Her children choosing truth. Patricia called with shocking news that changed everything even more. We found something else significant in our investigations, Zaniel. Credit card records from 2018, 6 years ago. Hotel charges every single week. Restaurant receipts. Another woman's name appearing. Angela Morrison. She worked in his office. The affair lasted at least 6 months. My stomach physically dropped, felt like being punched. This wasn't his first affair. He'd done this before, 6 years ago, multiple times, and I'd never known anything, never suspected. Had I been blind our entire marriage? Patricia's voice was gentle but professional. This actually strengthens our case significantly, shows a clear pattern of behavior over years. He's a repeat offender. This is fundamental character. The judge will see this as proof of systematic dishonesty. I added the new documents to my evidence binder that evening. Created a new section carefully. 2 affairs, 2 separate betrayals, 2 different women. Years apart, a pattern spanning our entire marriage. The anger felt clean, pure, completely justified. No guilt whatsoever about destroying him. No mercy remaining in my heart. The mistress wasn't the only one. She adds it to the case file. He's a repeat offender. The pattern exposed, his character proven conclusively. The company accountant called unexpectedly. We have a serious problem. Zaniel, there's a loan I never authorized. $50,000, taken out in the company name. 3 months ago. It's now in default. The bank is threatening to seize company assets. I knew immediately where that $50,000 had gone. Brielle's Instagram transformation 3 months prior. New furniture appearing in her apartment. A new used BMW. Designer clothes in every picture. Expensive coast vacations. All funded by unauthorized company money. Patricia filed an emergency motion that same afternoon. Unauthorized use of business funds. Corporate fraud. Misappropriation. Personal use of company assets. Everything documented. Everything illegal. I formally seized control of the entire company through my legal rights as co-founder. Froze all accounts. Removed GoGo as signatory on everything. The business I'd helped build from nothing was now completely mine. GoGo called furious. You can't take my company. I built it. Actually, I can. I'm on the incorporation papers. And you committed fraud. Turns out he took a loan without telling her. It defaulted. She seizes control of the company, the final domino falling, his business gone forever. Patricia found his retirement account statements during discovery, or rather, found what was left of them, nearly empty. He'd withdrawn $87,000 over 6 months, his entire 401k from 25 years. Gone completely. The detailed transaction history told the entire story clearly. Hotels, jewelry purchases, travel expenses, restaurants, cash withdrawals. Everything matched Brielle's Instagram timeline perfectly when cross-referenced. The judge reviewed the evidence during a pre-trial hearing. Stared at the bank records. Her face showed visible disgust. You depleted your entire retirement account to fund an extramarital affair? Everything you'd saved for 25 years? GoGo had no good answer. Tried to explain, to justify, to minimize. But the numbers spoke clearly and loudly. The judge ruled in my favor completely. Granted me full rights to recover the funds if possible. Ordered GoGo to repay the entire withdrawn amount from future earnings, assigned him full tax liability for the early withdrawal penalties. He left the courtroom hollow-eyed, broken, finally realizing what he'd destroyed. She discovers he drained his 401k to spoil Brielle. Judge rules in her favor. He leaves court hollow-eyed, everything lost, everything gone. The final hearing took 3 full hours on a cold Tuesday morning. The judge read through everything systematically. The prenuptial agreement, the extensive affair evidence, the financial deception documented in detail, hotel receipts, text messages, voice recordings, the unauthorized loan, the depleted retirement. Then she made her ruling. Clear and decisive. I retain the house with sole ownership as stated on the deed. 90% of all joint assets based on prenup terms. Sole control of the construction business I'd helped create. Full custody decision rights. GoGo got his pickup truck with payments still owed, his clothes and personal belongings, his substantial debts from the fraudulent loan, his empty retirement account, his completely destroyed reputation. Nothing else whatsoever. He walked out of the courthouse into a crowd of reporters someone had tipped off. Cameras flashing, microphones thrust forward. Do you regret it, Mr. Thompson? Do you regret cheating? Do you regret losing everything? He pushed through them without answering anything. Got in his truck, drove away to wherever he was living now. I watched from the courthouse steps, Patricia beside me, feeling nothing but pure relief. It was finally over. She wins the house, 90% of assets, sole control of business. As he walks out, reporters ask, "Do you regret it?" His silence, the only possible answer. 6 months later, everything in my life had changed dramatically. I started a financial empowerment program for women going through divorce or major life transitions, teaching them what I'd learned through pain. How to protect their assets before problems start. To document everything systematically, to never be caught unprepared. The story went viral somehow. Local news picked it up first, then regional coverage, then national networks. Woman uses financial skills to win divorce case. My email inbox flooded with messages daily. Women from across the country asking for help, wanting advice, needing hope that survival was possible. A major publisher called my office. They wanted a book, Breaking Free, a financial guide for women in crisis. They offered a substantial advance, professional marketing plan, multi-city book tour, everything. I signed the contract in my new office downtown, smaller than Seattle, but completely mine. The program was growing exponentially. 5 clients first month, 20 the second, 50 by month 3. My new life was taking real shape, better than before. Built on truth, built on my foundation. Zaniel starts financial empowerment program. Her story goes viral. Women flood her inbox. She gets offered a book deal, rising from ashes into light. He showed up at my office on a Tuesday morning, 9 months after the final judgment. I looked up from my computer. Gogo stood in the doorway, gray in his hair now, deep lines around his eyes. He looked much older, tired, worn down, defeated. I was stupid. Everything I did was completely wrong. Can we talk, please? Maybe coffee somewhere? I'll say whatever you want. I'll apologize. Just give me a chance. I leaned back in my leather office chair, looked at him for a long moment, actually seeing him clearly. Remembered 25 years of marriage. Remembered all the lies exposed. Remembered everything he'd deliberately destroyed. Felt absolutely nothing. Just empty clinical observation. Then I smiled. Professional, polite, distant. You can book a consultation if you'd like. My rates start at $300 per hour. 2-hour minimum for all new clients. My assistant at the front desk can schedule you. Cash or credit card required at booking. He stared at me, mouth slightly open, couldn't believe what he'd heard. Expected mercy, expected the old me who forgave everything. But that woman was gone, dead, replaced by someone stronger. Months later, Gogo shows up. She looks him dead in the eye. You can book a consultation. My rates have changed. Power shift complete and permanent. I stood in my office on the 10th floor of a downtown Portland building. Floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking the city I'd called home for 25 years. The city where I'd built a life, raised children, lost myself, found myself again stronger. My diploma hung on the wall. My published book sat on the shelf. Photos of Kendra and Tyler smiling at me from my organized desk. Everything in its proper place. Everything mine. Everything earned through struggle. They were both thriving now. Kendra, in graduate school studying social work. Tyler working at a successful startup. Both happy, both healthy, both understanding everything, supporting me completely. My business was helping hundreds of women every single month. Teaching them survival, teaching them they could rebuild their lives, could thrive, could win their battles. I looked out at the city, spring rain falling softly, new growth everywhere, new beginnings possible. Rain that washes everything clean, that promises renewal. I whispered to myself. I gave him 25 years of my life. I'm giving myself the rest. The door behind me closed softly, on my terms, forever. And I walked forward into the future I'd built, the future I'd earned, the future I deserved. Free. Finally, completely free. The door behind her closes, on her terms.